I'm Justin Brady. This is Drucker Forum TV, and of course, I'm joined by Richard Straub, the executive director, founder, head honcho. Can we call you head honcho? Is that okay? You just heard from Matisse Bitton about AI. Stefan Stern, of course, joined him and what the future looks like for your organization. But now, of course, we're going to talk to Richard about your reactions to the forum. Let's start there, actually. Anything kind of striking this year that you want to react to? Something a little unusual or something that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, we're still in the middle of it, right? So
we got another day left, yeah.
It's not yet over, but my impression is that there's a very positive and constructive atmosphere. And in a time where you could say people are very concerned and sometimes even depressed, right? I don't get this impression here. So there is this positive attitude, we can do something.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the themes I've been noticing this year is last year we talked about AI a little bit. It was kind of a novelty, kind of a shiny object, kind of something to watch. And this year it's dominated almost every conversation, almost every discussion. So after you've done this 16 years now, have you ever seen a pivot that fast and that substantial before?
No. I think most people would argue that when you look at even the technology pivots, this has been accelerating over the years. We had a lot of technology changes, but they took much longer to really show full effect. And AI and the current manifestations of AI, because there is not a single AI, there are many different things happening under this overall cover, is in this sense unique. And I think what's unique, in the past people talked about AI about something outside their activity. They were watching it and other people were sort of the experts, but they had an opinion. What does it mean for me? Now it's different because most of the people are users of AI and very active users, more and more, because obviously with ChatGPT, but also other new AI tools, you have access, you can do it immediately, you can apply it immediately.
Yeah, it went from novelty to necessity just like that. And now we have a lot of people that have dug into research, they're experts on the field, whereas last year it was certainly heard of, we talked about it, but it wasn't this dramatic. So everyone's talking about tech, everyone's talking about disruption. There's a good chance some of the organizations here right now are going to face disruption maybe this year, maybe sooner. How's the Global Peter Drucker Forum evolving to serve the needs of 21st century leaders?
Yeah, I mean, this is not just in the context of AI, right? We're talking about, when we talk about AI in the Drucker Forum, we certainly don't talk about the technology as such. We talk about the human side.
Right.
And I think the point was also made very clearly. The challenge is now, how can we make it work for the human being, but also taking into account human values. There are things you could do with technology, but you shouldn't do with technology. So these are decisions to be made, and the Drucker Forum is certainly on the side where we go to the fundamentals. We don't want to sort of be the ones who are touting the technology as such, but really always keep the context to the human, to the organization, to the ecosystem, because it plays at all levels.
Yeah.
So that's our main concern, and this is important for us, how we evolve as a Drucker Forum.
I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask you that too, which is how is the forum going to evolve? This stream right here is already a substantial pivot from previous years. You're building on the forum. So what else is it going to take for the Global Peter Drucker Forum to stay ahead?
No, of course, I will even announce things tomorrow in this context because we have very rich content. From many years. It's now the 16th year of the Drucker Forum, so we have very rich content, and with this content we can do completely new things. So far, the challenge was that when you have video content, how many people are sitting down and watching the video content? But now it has already been possible in the last 2 years to make searches for video content. But now we are moving a step further, and we will be announcing something. I shouldn't even say it now, but I will say it
now.
We will be announcing something which is really a Drucker forum chat GPT type of application, where you can access all the content that we have online, and you can interact with the content, right? So you ask the questions, you go deeper, you branch out in certain areas, and this is something where we want to be at the very front line in a positive sense, right?
Yeah, because if you think about it, the Global Peter Drucker Forum and, of course, Drucker Forum TV both have a lot of content from the world's leading management experts. Like, it's a lot of it. And if we could somehow access all that in a way that's convenient, that would be a great help to managers. One of the other things that maybe we'll leave on this note, maybe I can squeeze one more out of you, but I've noticed a lot of managers, a lot of leading experts, of course, that we've been interviewing today and throughout the forum, are talking about Drucker's words and how relevant they are. And some have said, honestly, I think Drucker's words and his management principles are more relevant now than maybe they were a few years ago. I don't know if you have a gut reaction to that. I don't even know what to make of that. But do you have any reaction to that and why that might be?
Yes, I mean, Drucker was always going to the fundamentals. So when he talked about management, there were always the 3 levels, the what, the how, and the why. So, and it's always something we observed already since many years. His questions about the why were the right questions. They don't change, right? They don't change in a period, even in this 50, 60, 70 years, when he has started to write his books. So these are fundamental questions which relate to management and relate to society. So they are absolutely relevant today. And I think since we are in a period where people see how fragile our situation is, how fragile our situation, our societies are, you need to find some grounding again.
Right.
And Peter Drucker is one of those thinkers who can give you some grounding when it comes to management and leadership, because it's not just about having an instrument to produce better profits, but it's about creating value in society, for your immediate group, but also for the wider society. And I think in today's discussion, this is becoming more and more relevant.
So perhaps all the technology, all the new shiny objects, all the new stuff, the tech, the disruption, the speed, perhaps much of that is a distraction from the fundamentals, and we get stuck on it. We get stuck that this magic tool is going to fix everything, but in reality, it's about the fundamentals, which is why Drucker appears to be so far ahead. I guess I shouldn't say appears to be, but is.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, at the end, it's about the human being. Everything else is really our additions.
Yeah.
I mean, they are becoming quite important tools and instruments. There is no doubt, but at the end, technology even helps us to better understand who we are, because it forces us to go back to these fundamental questions.
So I know you're a busy guy, especially on today and tomorrow, and it's a miracle we actually got you in the studio for a while. We only have 30 minutes more of questions. No, I'm just kidding. Final question for you is, does the term knowledge work need to evolve maybe a little bit? Because I think of knowledge now, a lot of people have access to knowledge, but are we moving to a future where creatives and critical thinkers are kind of in control? Are we looking at an age where we go from knowledge work to wisdom work?
Yes, I mean, there are several things to say. Knowledge work, as Drucker defined it, was more than, because when he talked about productivity of knowledge, he didn't mean just efficiency, right? Which is one thing you can get from technology from digital tools, right? You get a lot efficiency in your work.
Right.
He talked also, he understood the technology and that new ways of providing knowledge work would also go into the domains of creativity. Because today, especially in the artificial intelligence discussion, you can see that it has an impact on creative professionals as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So because they can connect things that they couldn't connect, they can see things they couldn't see before and can build on them and then put their creativity in all this. So knowledge work is not just the pure, let's say, almost fundamental work of analyzing knowledge and similar, but it goes into the creative domain, into the entrepreneurial domain, where you can also gain additional data points which help you to make decisions at a higher level. So in this sense, he has already anticipated to some degree this development that we see today.
Absolutely. Richard Straub, Executive Director of the Global Peter Drucker Forum. Thank you for giving me and, of course, all the people streaming at home across the world some time today. Up next, we aren't done yet. We have a lot more content left. Mary Meany will be interviewing Teresa Amabile, the groundbreaking researcher, Harvard professor. You probably know about her work on creativity, motivation, and the progress principle. And of course, she'll also be talking to Daniel Goleman. So it's a lot of show left, so stick with us here on Drucker Forum TV. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.